Hello everyone, this is Mayank Sanghvi from vlemon.com and I'm back with another IBM Cognos Report Studio tutorial video. In this video, we will learn how to dynamically change email, mail subject, body and file name for Cognos Burst report. In our previous video, we learned how to use Cognos Report Burst option. When we used Cognos Report Burst, all the recipient receive an email with the same subject, body and same file name with different files. We want to change it and make it dynamic. For this entire video, we are going to refer this blog post as a reference. If you want to refer the same blog post URL is available in the description of this video, or you can click on this notification icon. This article helped to answer following question: how to change Cognos Burst report file names, how to change Cognos Burst report email recipient, add CC or BCC, mail subject, mail body and other. How to use burst key in Cognos, how to burst Cognos report to the file system. Before start, please check following videos. Configure SMTP for IBM Cognos. If you are going to click on this URL, you can check this video. Next, Cognos report burst. This is our previous video. Create your own SMTP server for testing. In this video, we install XAMPP and Mercury for our local SMTP environment for sending and receiving emails. So this is the image with before and after changes. So before, we are receiving, or our recipient receive email with the same subject, same body, same file name, but different files based on the burst key. After change, we are going to receive email with this dynamic subject, renamed file name based on the burst key and dynamic body. So let's see how to achieve this. For dynamic email subject, body and file name, first we need to modify some configuration files. If you don't have an admin privileges, you need someone with IBM Cognos admin privileges. For the first setting, we need to open IBM Cognos configuration. For this, let me open my machine. So this is my machine. Let me minimize everything. You can find IBM Cognos configuration in Cognos installation directory, program files, IBM, and I think it's in bin 64. I am looking for a type application. Inside application type, I am looking for config w.exe. I'm going to launch it. Yes, click on data access, content manager. And in this, we have option save report outputs to a file system. By default, its value is false. You need to change it to true. Save the config file and restart the IBM Cognos services. For me, it is already done. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to click on no. But for you, you need to first change it to true and then restart. If it is already true, you can skip this step. Okay, next. So this is the same step. Why we are modifying this? Because we need to save the report output to file system. Once we have our report in the file system, then we are going to use a script to rename the files and sending emails. For the next changes, we need to open IBM Cognos administration. I am at IBM Cognos administration. Click on status tab, then click on systems, click on Windows 7 VM, click on this. And then you need to click on this arrow for content manager services and select set properties. Okay, so we are on content manager services set properties dialog. We need to click on settings and then we need to click on this edit environment advanced setting. Click on edit. So right now I am able to see all this, but maybe you are not able to see this. You are able to see a checkbox with override option. You need to click on this checkbox, override it, and then you are able to see all these parameters and value. Okay. In this, we need to add two parameters. First is CM.OUTPUTLOCATION and the second parameter is CM.OUTPUTSCRIPT. The first parameter is for the report output location. So it is C data reports output. So whenever we are going to execute our report with the save option, then all our reports are going to save in this directory. After the successful execution of our reports, we need to call a script. For this, we are setting this parameter CM output script. The value for this is C data reports output rename report.batch file. This batch file is going to call a VBA script. So this is our output folder, C data reports output. Our all reports are going to save in this, and this is our rename report.batch file. This batch file is going to call rename report.vbs. This VB script is going to rename all the files, and then it is going to send mail based on the burst key. Okay, so let me first close all this, and you can find all this information on blog post, so you need to copy and paste. So this is my CM output location, this is CM output script, and this is the values for my environment. Maybe for you it is some different location. We need to first execute our report. For this I'm going to open IBM Cognos connection. Inside this I'm going to click on tutorials. This is our Cognos report burst. I want to run it. I want to run this in Excel format, advanced options. I want to run this in background right now, and I want to send this report by email. I don't want to save it. Let me click on burst the report, and finally I'm going to click on run. Let me click on this checkbox, and then I'm going to click on OK. Our report execution is completed successfully. Let me open our email client. Let me select any email ID. Click on get message, and this is our email report Cognos report burst. And in this we have Cognos report burst.xl. This is another email ID, same subject and same file name. Okay, and we want to change it, so let me minimize this and let me close it. Now this time I'm going to execute it one more time. I'm going to click on advanced option. Let me click on run in the background. The format I want is the Excel 2007. Okay, so Excel 2007. I want to save this report outputs, and then I want to click on burst the report. Let me click on run. Let me check this checkbox, and before clicking on this OK button, let me open our report output folder. Right now it is for personal, group or online training. Contact us. In our output folder we don't have any report output. Let me open delete folder, and again in this folder we have nothing. Okay, the folder is empty. Now I'm going to click on OK. Let me click on refresh. Okay, so report execution is completed successfully. Let me close this, minimize. Let's check the output folder. Again, our output folder, we don't have any reports output. Where is our report output? Let me check delete. Oh, inside delete we have our report output in Excel format. Okay, let's open email client. Let me refresh our Northern Europe at the localhost email ID, and in this right now we received a email. Northern Europe gross profit by country. This is date and time, and this is the email body, and this is the attachment. Northern Europe gross underscore profit.xls. Okay, so let me minimize this and let me delete all this. Okay, and I'm going to edit the rename report.batch file. Let me open this with Visual Studio Code. I'm using Visual Studio Code as a code editor. You can create your batch file in Notepad also, or any other text editor. So in our batch file we are calling our VB script rename report.vbs. Okay, so let me remove all these lines. Let me save it, close it, minimize. Let's execute our report one more time. I'm going to click on this play button. I want to open advanced option. I want to run it in background. Output format for this time, let's say HTML, and I'm going to burst this report. I want to save this report on the file system, and then I'm going to click on run. Let me click on this checkbox. And this time I'm going to open my output folder. I'm going to refresh this, refresh it. Okay, so we got this is, so our execution is completed successfully, and these are the report outputs. Okay, ignore this. This is the previous mail. Okay, ignore this. So before any confusion, let me refresh everything. I think this. Okay, so we are not going to receive any notification from Thunderbird. Let's minimize this. Now our report execution, now what is different this time? This time our batch file, we are not calling this VBA script. So whenever you are going to save your report after this changes, then you are able to see two files in your output folder. One is your report output and one is the metadata for your report output. So this is my report output and this is the metadata for this report. Okay, so let's open this. This is our report in HTML format. Let me close this, and this is our metadata information for this report. In this we are interested in burst key, so this report is for Americas. Okay, so based on this burst key we are going to rename this .htm file. Okay, so let me again open this, and this is our file name, report output. This is our file name. Okay, next we need to check the code for VBA script. So I'm going to open this in Visual Studio Code. So this is the code for VBA script. Here we have some objects for file system and for editing the XML file. Next we are looping. Okay, so we are looping in this directory. We are looping for all the available .xml file. So we are looking for all the available .xml file. Inside the XML file we are interested in the burst key. So this is our burst key. Okay, then we are interested in the file name. So whenever our this for loop is going to execute, it is going to read all the XML file one by one. It is going to open all the XML file, and then based on the burst key and the file name, it is going to rename the respective report output. So we got the burst key, we got the file name, then we are checking whether this file is exist or not. If it is exist, then we are renaming our file. Okay, before renaming we again checking if we have any existing file with the same name. If it is exists, delete the existing file, then rename. Okay, so this is the line for rename. In this line we are renaming our this file name with our burst key. So this is our original file and this is our new file. So in our new file, our file name is, this is the path for current directory, then our file name. So inside burst key, if we have any space, we are replacing space with a empty string, and then burst key, then we have a report common name, so it is a gross profit. So right now if I'm going to open my existing emails, so inside this is our file name, Center Europe gross profit, gross_profit.xls. Okay, now I want a space between our region name and our gross profit. For this, let me add underscore here. Okay, you can edit it based on your requirement, you can edit, but right now I don't want to edit this. I'm fine with this, so I'm going to remove this. Okay, So your burst key, your report common name, and then your report extension. So we are getting the report extension from the original file. So this line is going to rename our report output. Next is we need to send this report. For this is the lines for sending our email. So in this we are setting a dynamic subject. Okay, so in subject we are using burst key, then our common subject gross profit by country. Okay, so burst key is our region name, so America's gross profit by country, and then we are adding a tab and date time. Next we are adding a recipient. For me or for my demo environment, my email is equals to burst key. Okay, so if the region name is Americas, then the email address is americas@localhost. If you don't have email, then first you need to retrieve all the email based on the burst key, and then you need to add all those email inside your to list. For me it's simple. For me the email name is equals to region name @localhost. Okay, so that's why I'm using burst key @localhost. Practically in emails we don't have any spaces, so that's why this line is removing any available space. Next is the sender. So sender for my server is no reply @localhost. I'm adding a CC, object message.cc, and you can also add a BCC. So let me minimize this. In email kind, for all the region specific email we are receiving a single email, but for me I am receiving email for all the regions. Okay, why? Because I hard coded my email inside CC. Next is the text body. So this is our email body. Again you can change it dynamically. Then we are specifying our attachment. Okay, so our attachment is the new file name. Next, this is for your VBScript send mail configuration. Finally, we are sending our email. This two line is moving our report output and .xml file inside delete folder. Okay, and we are also renaming all this file with timestamps to avoid failure in a script due to available file names. Okay, so we are moving this file in delete folder. So we are moving these files in delete folder. So this is our file name, burst key gross profit, and here we are adding a timestamp to avoid name clash while moving the files. So this is about VBScript. Let me close this. I don't want to save this file. Let's run this VBScript manually. Okay. So right now our delete folder is empty. Let's run our VBScript manually. All files are gone. All files are now available in our delete folder. Okay, and let's check our email client. Now our mayanksanghvi@localhost must contain 10 emails. So let me click on get message. We have 10 emails, and for each region specific email we have a new email. Okay. Now this time we have a HTML attachment. Okay. Now you may ask why we use VBScript. The answer for this is the preference. Right now I'm using a Windows environment, and in Windows environment I can execute VBScript without installing any additional software. I only install this Visual Studio Code for editing only. I can write this VBScript in Notepad. So selection of script is based on your experience, your knowledge, your environment. Okay, so let's say if you're using a Linux environment, then you may use any other scripting. Let's say maybe you can use Java, maybe you can use any other available script in Linux environment. So finally, I want to edit our batch file again. I want to revert these changes. I'm going to open my blog post and I'm going to simply copy the code for batch file. Okay, so all these codes are available on the blog post. Feel free to visit and use it for your reference. So these are the steps to dynamically change email, mail subject, body and file name for Cognos Burst report. So that's it for this video. If you like this video, don't forget to click on subscribe, share it with your friend, provide your valuable feedback, and see you all in next IBM Cognos Report Studio tutorial video. Some important URLs.